Hello, friends. I hope you all had a great first week. This week we're going to get into some learning, so let's get started. In reading this week, we're going to be learning about sequencing. Now, I know that's a pretty big word, but it's really easy. Sequencing is when you retell a story, but you use your own words to tell that story. Now, when I say retell a story, let's say you've read a book and you want to tell somebody what happened, but you don't have the book with you. You just try to tell them what happened in the book. So, when you're telling somebody what's happened in a book you read, do you tell them what happened last? Or do you start off by telling them what happened first? You probably want to start off by telling them what happened first. And that's what sequencing is. Sequencing is when you put things in order. Now, we're going to become mirrors here in a second. Think about a mirror. When you look in a mirror, what happens? You can see yourself. And usually when you move, the mirror moves, or your reflection does the same thing you do. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to turn our mirrors on, and you're going to turn your mirror on, and you're going to copy what Miss Cassie does. And this is going to help us remember what sequencing is, because we're going to be up and moving. So are you ready to become a mirror? All right, here we go. Turn our mirrors on. Got your mirror on? All right, repeat after me. Sequencing. Putting things in order. Good job. Let's try that again. Mirror on. Great job. Sequencing. Putting things in order. Great job. Now there's one more part we're going to add to it. Mirror on. Sequencing. Putting things in order. First, next, then, last. Now we're going to turn our mirrors on. All right. Now, the reason we added that last part, first, next, then, last, that's because when you retell a story, you're going to tell somebody what happened first. Then you're going to tell them what happened next. Then you're going to tell them what happens next. Then you're going to tell them what happens last. You're going to put those things in order. Because if you start and you tell somebody what happened last, then you go back and you tell them what happened in the beginning of the story, then you tell them what happened in the middle, it's going to get really confusing. So that's where sequencing helps us. So let's do that all together one more time. Are you ready? Mirrors on. Sequencing. Putting things in order. First, next, then last. Mirrors on. Great job. I hope that helps you remember what sequencing is, but we're going to be working on it all week. We're also going to work on it next week. But for today, in your Bitmoji classroom, you'll see the same slide that you're seeing. There are a few videos that you can watch to help you with sequencing. I'm not going to press those. I'm going to let you do that on your own. But I have a very special friend that's going to read a book to us today and help us with sequencing. But before we get there, let's do a little activity. Do you all like to do activities? Miss Cassie loves to do activities. So let's practice some sequencing. Let's say I wanted a glass of milk. So I get my milk and I get my glass. Well, what do I need to do first? What should I do? Do I pour the milk in the glass first? Well, the first thing I probably need to do, I probably need to open my milk, right? So we're going to open the milk. What's the next thing I need to do? Did you say pour it in a glass? That would probably be a good idea. Because what happened if I skipped that step? What happened if I didn't do that next? What happened if I opened my milk and then I said, I'm going to pour my milk out? We just made a huge mess. Don't tell anybody I'm making a mess. So we need to get our glass. The first thing we did was we took the top off of our milk. This next thing we need to do is pour the milk in the glass. Because if we forget our glass, if we forget that next step, we're gonna make a big mess. What's the next thing I can do? I'm probably gonna drink my milk, right? And Miss Cassie loves milk. And the last thing I'm gonna do, I'm probably gonna put my top back on my milk. Because if I forget to put my top back on my milk, I'm probably gonna end up with another big mess. And sequencing you do every day. When you make a bowl of cereal, you probably get your bowl first. Then you pour your cereal in your bowl. Then you pour the milk in your bowl. But if you ever forget the bowl, that very first step, you're gonna make a big mess. So sequencing is very important when we're reading too, because if we can't sequence things, it gets really confusing. So we're fixing to read a story. I'm fixing to pause this, and I'm gonna go get my friend, and he's gonna show us what our book we're gonna read, and he is going to read it to us and help us with sequencing. So here we go. Let me go get him. He's here! He's here! He's here! Pete the Cat's here to help you with sequencing. Today, we're gonna read Pete the Cat Rockin' in My School Shoes. And I'm gonna help you with sequencing. Where do you think Pete the Cat is going? Pete the Cat, Rocking in My School Shoes. Story by Eric Litwin, aka Mr. Eric. Art by James Dean. He's ready. Here comes Pete, strolling down the street, rocking red shoes on his 4 furry feet. Pete's going to school and he sings this song. I'm rocking in my school shoes. I'm rocking in my school shoes. I'm rocking in my school shoes. Pete is sitting at his desk when his teacher says, "Come on, Pete, down that hall to a room with books on every wall." Where is Pete going? And let's think about this. Let's make a prediction. Do you know what a prediction is? A prediction is where you take the clues and you make a guess at where he's going to go or what's going to happen. So the clue was he's going to go to a room with books on wall to wall. Where do you think he's going? I think we should follow him to find out. Are you ready? All right, let's follow him. The library! Pete has never been to the library before. Does Pete worry? Goodness, no! He finds his favorite book and he sings his song. I'm reading in my school shoes. I'm reading in my school shoes. I'm reading in my school shoes. Check out Pete. He's ready to eat. In a big noisy room with tables and seats. Where is Pete? Now let's make another prediction. Do you remember what that was? What were our clues? He's ready to eat. He's in a big noisy room with tables and seats. Let's see where Pete's going next. The lunchroom. It can be loud and busy in the lunchroom. Does Pete worry? Goodness, no. He sits down with his friends and he sings his song.
I'm eating in my school shoes. I'm eating in my school shoes. I'm eating in my school shoes.
Pete and his friends are playing.
Pete and his friends are playing outside on a green grassy field with swings tall and wide. Where is Pete? Now let's make that prediction. Think about your clues. Let's go see where Pete's going next. The playground! Kids are running in every direction. Does Pete worry? Goodness, no! He slides and swings and sings his song.
I'm playing in my school shoes. I'm playing in my school shoes. I'm playing in my school shoes.
All day long, Pete sings his song.
I'm singing in my school shoes. I'm painting in my school shoes. I'm adding in my school shoes. I'm writing in my school shoes.
When school is done, Pete rides the bus home. Pete's mom asked him, "What did you do at school today?" And you know what Pete says? What does Pete say?
I was rocking in my school shoes. I was rocking in my school shoes. I was rocking in my school shoes. I was rocking in my school shoes.
And I will do it again tomorrow.
And I will do it again tomorrow because it's all good. I hope you enjoyed our read aloud with Pete the Cat. But now let's think about sequencing. Think about what we read in that story. And let's do a quick book walk just to refresh our memory. Let's just do a quick look through. We're not going to read the story again. We're just going to do a book walk. We're trying to figure out, Pete went to a lot of places. He did a lot of things at his school. But we want to sequence these things and put them in order. We want to know where he went first, where'd he go next, and where'd he go last. So let's look through here, just to refresh our memory. I like Pete's school. I think I would love to go to school with Pete the Cat. Okay, so that was a quick walkthrough. Let's see if we can sequence 3 big places Pete went when he was at school. We know that the first thing Pete did, he went to school. He got on the school bus and went to school. But I really want to focus on the 3 main places Pete went in his story while he was at school. So, Where did Pete go first? When he got to school, where did he go first? If you remember making a prediction, we had the clues. There was a big room full of books. Do you remember where that was?
Danny Moss, could you please come to the front office?
Sorry. Where was it? Room full of books. You're right. He went to the library. Pete the cat likes to read. Now let's think about the next place Pete went. He went to the library first, a room full of books. Now, let's think about those clues and the next prediction we made. Where did he go next? I believe those clues were, there was a room, it had a bunch of tables, and it was loud and noisy, and it was a place where you could eat. Where do you go when you're at school? Where do you go that's a really big place that has really long tables and you eat? Oh, you're right. The lunchroom. Great job. Now, we have one last place that Pete went. So first he went to the library. When he left the library, he went to the lunchroom next. Now let's think about the very next place Pete went to while he was at school. What were those clues again? Let's see. He left the lunchroom and he went to a place that had swings and slides, and it was lots of fun. Do we have a place that has swings and slides? Oh, you're right. Pete went to the playground. Great job, friends. So we did a very small sequencing. There were some more places that we could have put in order, but I just wanted to focus on 3 of those. So you did a great job at putting those things in order. That's what we're going to be working on all week. And I want you to think about those things. Now before I go, let's do this one more time. Let's turn into mirrors. Are you ready? Mirror on. Sequencing. Putting things in order. First, next, then last. Mirror off. Great job, friends. I hope you have had a wonderful time during our lesson today, and I hope you have learned a lot.